Hello and welcome to this edition of the Untitled Anime Show, where in this episode we review My Hero Academia Season 2, and this is the month of My Hero, so all month long we're going to be reviewing all four of the current seasons of the show, and here's Sadar to tell us all about Season 2 and the show in general.
My Hero Academia is a superhero manga written by Kohei Horikoshi, serialized in the weekly Shonen Jump magazine.
No, not Shonen Jump.
Yeah, Shonen Jump again. They've got great tastes. It began running in July 2014. It has since spawned 4 anime seasons and 2 standalone movies. All seasons were adapted by Bones. Season 2 aired in April 2017. The English adaptations of the anime season have been released in North America by Viz Media. So Season 2 starts with the UA Sports Festival, which allows the students to show off their abilities on a national scale. The program's televised, and it runs through their first couple of months as students at UA, ultimately culminating with their internships and increases in difficulty in their lessons.
Yeah, so essentially the first season is, hey kids, welcome to the school. We're going to let you show off so that maybe somebody will want to, sponsor you and have you come and actually learn from them. So it's kind of like when they bring the cattle to slaughter and they have everybody sit around and watch and say, I want that cow.
Yeah.
Or I want that cow to build me equipment. Don't forget the engineering class.
Which we are going to talk about. So we're going to look at our scores for this one. And we got some unusually high scores from the Untitled Anime Show on here. And we're going to start with originality. And we got 4s across the board. So we haven't heard from Duck yet. Let's start with him.
All right. So the reason it takes 1 point off is because the tournament art is something you see in almost, at least the kind of shows I watch. There's always a tournament arc. But I think you can't take too much away from it because it's 100% necessary with a cast like this to get to see one-on-one, one individual times in frame for each of the heroes, and so we can see how their quirks work, not when they're with a group but when they're by themselves.
Yeah, it's an interesting take because just the main class, which isn't even all the characters, folks, the main class has 20 characters in it. Then we have to branch into there's neighboring classes, there's recurring characters, there's teachers, you name it. So we got 20 characters right there. We have to kind of show off and get you like this is what this person can do, this is what they're about, this is their personality. So yes, it is a very big trope of having the big martial arts tournament, and that's essentially what it comes down to. There's other games that take place at the festival, but essentially it comes down to here's the big stone ring in the middle of a stadium. So it's like they're having a big sumo event, So that is the only reason for a point being take off. That, and I thought the sports festival arc might have been just a little long, but maybe not. I think if you took some stuff out of there, it might be difficult to get the shine on all those characters that we did. Sadar, how about you?
Yeah, I have to agree with the tournament trope, and I also, I liked the sports festival, so I was hard pressed to take a point off for just that trope, but I decided to go for a full point because of the young, rising hero trope of, well, this person I have a vendetta against, so I have to go off and do this on my own and get myself in all kinds of trouble and rely on my friends to show up at the last second to save my butt because I thought I could do it on my own, but what I really need is, my friends. That trope's kind of overdone too. So
okay, so I'm going to clip that little section. I'm going to use that for all future episodes of the Untitled Anime Show because it's probably pretty applicable. Okay, so moving on the story, we got a 4.55. I gave it a 4 just because the idea of the sports festival and having the big tournament, that's every damn anime. Every damn one has it. So that's the only reason the point got taken off. The story's great. I think they did a lot of good character building with this season, a lot more than they did in season 1. So I only took a point away for that. Duck, you gave this a 5.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the story, even though it's repetitive. Like I said, it's like it's completely necessary here, and it really gives us a chance to meet, the other characters. And double the amount of characters in the show because we have Class 1A, and then there's what is it, Class 1B or 2A? There's their neighbor class, the classroom right next to theirs.
The other hero track class,
right?
There.
They're all mixed in, and they're all trying to get to the top, and that actually takes some twists that I wasn't expecting. Not like mostly in the sports festival. I got to the point where I was thinking Midoriya had like some kind of quirk. Like he actually did have a quirk, and it was like, oh, I'm lucky, and things just work out for me. Like in the couple rounds of the festival, and then the tournament happens, and it's not what you expect.
No, I do think in the tournament when people start to figure out that he's a lot like All Might, and then was it Todoroki? No, not Icy Hot.
Todoroki.
That's Todoroki.
Okay, Todoroki. Straight up asked him, "Are you All Might's love child?" I love that. So, Sandra, did you give a story?
Not yet.
Give us a story here. You give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I loved season 2. I loved everything about season 2, and I have to disagree with you. I thought that I know, Raz. I know. I thought the sports festival was engaging and exciting, and yeah, it's been done before. It's not totally unique, but I appreciated the different elements of it. And I think Duck's right. It really gave a great opportunity and a great forum for a lot of the classmates in Midoriya's class and outside to shine. And normally I'm an anime watcher who really hates the brooding, quiet, I have a bad relationship with my dad character. But I thought Todoroki in this season was amazing. I just kind of fell in love with his character. I looked forward to seeing how he grew and developed as the story progressed. So I loved everything about season 2. I really did.
Okay, moving on to artwork, we got a 545, and Sandra, I know we just came from you, but we usually start at the lowest score, so let's talk about you. You gave it a 4 out of 5. Why?
For season 2, I have to say the same complaint that I offered in season 1. I like how bright the world is. I like how well developed the artwork is. It's just All Might, when he's big All Might, his face bothers me.
So you heard it here, folks. For all seasons of My Hero Academia, you will never have a perfect 5 out of 5 across the board because Sadar's never going to give All Might a 5. So, Duck, you gave this a 5 out of 5, though. So let's hear about why.
Yeah. So if I was impressed in season 1 by the uniqueness of the characters, and they double it, still quite impressed. It did get dark, though. There at the end, this season finale all takes place in a very dark spot. But it's not. I just love the show. I love the artwork. I guess I don't have much more to add to that.
Well, I gave it a 5 out of 5, and that's very, very uncommon for me. There was a lot of stuff that they seemed to streamline with this season. It seems like the artists really got it into their groove with this one, the way they were going to do it. Again, it's very bright. There's not a whole lot of dark tones unless the scene legitimately calls for them. Even with the dark brooding characters, Dark Shadow. Well, guess what? He's still in a bright world, so it actually works out rather well. And I have really no complaints about the artwork. I really enjoyed it. And the fight scenes that they go ahead and do in this season, because that's really the majority of what the season is the sports festival, and the battle scenes that are going on are really, really amazing. And
can we just give a shout out to how spectacular it was when they had to break up the fight between Todoroki and Midoriya? That was totally cool.
All right. This is too much. So going on the depth, we got a 4.55. I gave it a 4 just because, again, it's the trope. We're having the sports festival, so that, and each and every character keeps having flashbacks, which I don't particularly care for. If you want to, in a normal show, you would say, okay, this person gets an episode, this person gets an episode. But in My Hero Academia Season 2, we have 50 some characters. There's no way. So a lot of them have to be expedited. So I can't ding them too hard for it because we do need to get the information about these characters. There's a couple that they don't really flesh out, but they're also ones you don't really give a crap about. The only one I wish that we just get rid of just entirely is Mineta. I don't need anything. I don't need Mineta in my life. I just don't. Even in a scene where he's about to lose his life, he's talking about boobs, which normally I'm all for, but in this particular case, he just is such a pervert. I mean, not even a funny pervert, just a straight up like skeezy pervert.
Yeah, I absolutely hate Mineta too. But little fun fact about him: in the manga, in the in between chapters, the author has a little S script when he shows Mineta's concept art. He says he's very attached to Mineta because he's fun to draw, and the author's also a pervert, so he identifies with him. So we're probably never going to see him get killed off, unfortunately.
Okay, Sadar, how about you?
For depth?
For depth.
Again, I gotta disagree with you, Raz. I think I'm not a person who really enjoys the flashback episodes because that to me disrupts the story. So I liked the abbreviated flashbacks in this season. I thought that they did a great job of expanding on the foundation that they built in the first season and really started to dig down to start world building in the My Hero universe. So I thought this season had a lot of depth compared to the first season, which again I didn't think was bad.
Okay, depth-wise, Duck, did we get you already?
No.
Okay, so give us your opinions.
I, for one, am super into all the specs. I love but just building the world.
You like shiny objects.
I like shiny objects. Simple pleasures for a simple mind. But no, we get some insight into Todoroki, and normally he's like my favorite kind of character in the show. Like his character trope is what I generally latch on to, but for some reason he's not at the top. But we also get a view into some of the grittier side of the hero world where it's like the people who aren't benefited by the hero society. That's kind of like the motivations of one of the antagonists we get to meet in this series or in this season, and that for me shoots it up to the full points.
Yeah, in this season the show in general does not have a whole lot of filler episodes. I think there's only one real we could cut this out entirely and you'd never even know it was gone episode. So I'm really pleased about that, and I should have mentioned that more when it came to story. But let's go on to binge. We gave this all a 5 out of 5 across the board. So let's start with Sadar.
This was a really fun season. I'm so thankful that by the time I got to watching My Hero, I was able to binge season 2. I was thankful for that.
Duck?
Yeah, I watched season 1 kind of, here and there. Wasn't sure if I was going to get into it. But by the time season 2 rolled around, my girlfriend was already involved in watching. And I was working 2 jobs at the time. And literally every single waking moment that I wasn't working, I was watching My Hero. And I would stay up later. I usually try to keep a pretty strict sleeping schedule. And I would lay in bed and stay up and watch My Hero instead of sleep.
Jeez. I give it a 5 out of 5 because, again, I didn't start this until later on in the run of the show, and having the ability to binge it means I probably will binge it. If I like it, I binge it. I haven't had cable in, probably close to 10 years, and I stream almost all my content, and I like anime, so if I find an anime I like, I'm gonna binge it. And this is one of those ones too where it's kind of unhealthy. We were watching it over and over. Just okay, episode, keep rolling. And it being a full-length episode as opposed to season 1, it didn't help. So once we factor in all of our scores, we come to the very first 4.6, rounding up 5 out of 5 microwave fish pockets for our score for My Hero Academia Season 2. And we did this with the first season. Let's start with Duck. Duck, who was your favorite character this season?
This season, I mean, I guess since I got to meet more characters, I guess I'll go with Todoroki for this season. I still like, Tsukiyomi's design the best, though.
Sadar?
I still really like All Might in this season, and I think it's worth pointing out that when Midoriya's whining continued, even All Might started to say, "Come on, kid, you gotta knock this crying out." But I really thought that Todoroki was the star, especially the first half of this season.
I'm going to break the mold a little bit, because last season I was all about, All Might and Bakugo. This season, Mei Hatsume. She stole the show for me, especially after the festival, because there's a point where she, we'll just say, exploits something, and later on they meet up with her again, and she's from a different class where she's focused on building the gadgets that superheroes use, and she's talking to them again, and the class rep's like, "I'm the one that you used for this," and she just turns around, "Never heard of ya!" and just keeps around.
She's a fun character, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. So, if we're gonna put this in our queue, forget it ever existed, or watch it immediately, what would you put that at, Duck?
Watch it right now. I don't know why you stopped to watch this review after you got done with season 1.
Sadar?
Clear your schedule, because you're going to want to binge it. Go watch it now.
We could probably just skip this section for the rest of the series.
Take a week off work.
Take a week off for work, because you're going to need it, folks. Definitely put this in your queue and watch it immediately. It's a great show. And being this is the month of My Hero, make sure you check back with us after you've watched Season 2 to watch Season 3 review of My Hero Academia, and we'll see you on the next one.